Hey, welcome to the 5th episode of the Mac Summer Podcast. I'm your host, Isaac Daniel Ng. We've got a Meet Mac session with Sharada Eswar, who is the Art Council's cultural animator. She's fresh off the train after a week-long trip aboard a one-of-a-kind cross-country art project. Sharada will tell us a little bit about what she does for us at Mac and share a few stories about her journey on the train of thought. Then, after that, I'll be taking you behind the scenes for an artist spotlight with Darren Anthony. He's the writer of a soon-to-premiere play entitled Secrets of a Black Boy, happening right here in Mississauga at the Maya Prentice Theatre on June 23rd. But by now, you know the drill. Before I get into all that, I'm going to play Into Our Mactivities with a song by a local musician named Asima Lango, titled Aspire to Inspire.
With goals and aspirations, my vision's locked, moves are calculated. No time to lose, making moves that are makeshift. See, thinking on the fly's got its limitations. Success in life, my kind of vindication. Hope mixed with the dream and to follow through like a golf swing. The motto that I got to ingrain in my offspring. Too many princes grow up to be lost kings. Green-eyed bandits out for dollars to floss things. Lacking direction and purpose. Based on track record, this motto don't seem to be working, so it's worthless. It needs service. We see so many dreams don't ever seem to flourish. Long as dreams remain practical, no need to be discouraged. Cause in this life we live, only death is certain. Create a roadmap for your success before your curtains close. Death is for certain, bro. Dreams I pursue with frequent flyer mileage, using inspiration as my pilot. Cross-continental reach, limits never peak. Success within my fingers reach. I sniff it when I breathe. Measure of success, relative like blood-related beefs. In this game it play for keeps. I'm trying to win, to say the least. Driven by the notion of uplifting my community. Lifted at the hope that unity could one day prove to be inspiring. For the beast inside of life's lion's den. Inspire self, then inspire them. Inspire self, then inspire them. Listen, yo. Sometimes I get blurry-eyed, but the vision's never lost. Even if I started drifting off course, momentary setbacks is the devil trying to get back at you, just like the government. Why you think you get taxed for booze? It's a death trap. Fool, man, I'm guilty of the same. Guzzling this poison, messing with my brain. What I'm saying is assess the bigger picture and determine where you fit in. Move accordingly without the politics in. Glimpsing at that city skyline, I'm already sky high off life. I feel I'm winning hands high like give me 5. So many miles on inspirational planes, that's literal. Sometimes the inspiration is pain for lyricals, turning a negative to positive force. Such a release like you popping a cork. Inspiration's like the rock in a sport. A football, move the chains, get a flock of support from teammates for a good call. Inspiration comes in various forms, so when it hits you, let it get you to where you belong. Where you belong is a place where the energy's strong. And where the energy's strong, that's when the synergy's formed. And where the synergy's formed, that's when the chemistry's born. Then an indelible bond's formed to weather the storm. Aspire to inspire is the next best move. I'm trying to be the best S, not the second best you.
Hi, my name is Ida Mohammed. I'm the Programming and Creative Coordinator at the Mississauga Arts Council, and you're listening to the Mac Summer Podcast.
Okay, let's get rolling on your Mactivities for June 17th, 2015. If you're hearing this week's show on release date, then you can be one of the first to see Josephine Condora's Electric North, an art exhibit at the Alton Mills Art Center between 12 to 5 p.m. The exhibition features 12 wood panel paintings of various locations across Canada and will be running all the way until September. Thursday, June 18th at Clark Hall from 7 to 10 p.m., local comedian Jeff Estrella will be hosting the very first Pan Am open mic hosted by Mac. All ages, talents, and skill levels are welcome. I'll be there too, so you might even catch one of my performances if you're lucky. Email program@mississaugaartscouncil.com to sign up in advance if you're a Mac member. Also on June 18th, starting 7 p.m. in the Living Arts Center, the Art Battle Regional finalists will be competing in 3 rounds of public painting, judged by audience votes. Tickets are $22.50, with senior and student rates at $12.50. And again, on June 18th at 10 p.m., Arlene Pakulin and her band, The Cool Ones, will be performing for free at the Beer Market on Esplanade in Toronto. Friday, June 19th at 7:30 p.m., the Benares Historic House will be featuring the Denise Leslie Jazz Trio as part of their On the Veranda outdoor summer music concert series. If you can't make Arlene's Thursday performance, check her out on Friday for the Toronto Jazz Festival at Habits Gastropub. Special guests on the bill include James Faulkner, Matt Morgan, and the Muso Project. Cover is $10. Arlene is also performing at the Gastropub on the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. On Saturday, June 20th, the Windmill Theatre will be kicking off its Summerfest Music Festival at the Unitarian Congregation on South Service Road. Tickets are $30 and can be purchased online at www.windmilltheatre.com. Sunday, June 21st, from 2 to 4 p.m., come by the Pama Peel Art Gallery to see some new works by Oleg Olasenko. Oleg's latest charcoal drawings are inspired by Pama's archives. They explore the history of cinema and theater in the Peel region. And next week, on Wednesday, June 24th, starting 7:30 p.m., the J Bomber Trio will play for the Burlington Concerts in the Park series. Bring a blanket and a lawn chair to enjoy classical takes on some Broadway hits. Admission is free, so check burlington.ca for more information. Want more details on these and other arts events? Just head over to the Mississauga Arts Council website and click on the events calendar, or sign up as a member to receive the Tivities e-newsletter. If you are organizing an upcoming arts-related event, be sure to join MAC and submit that information so that we can get the word out. More importantly, be sure to send your event info in well in advance. If you want it announced on the podcast, we need to know about it at least 2 weeks prior. So speaking of big events, I've got a special guest in the studio with me right now, and she just came back from a very unique trip. Hi, Sharada. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Isaac. Thanks for having me here.
So what's your role at MAC? What do you do in the office?
So I have a very fancy designation, which is the cultural animator. Basically, what it means is that I help facilitate artist-community member interaction. I help them come together in a process of co-creation and collaboration.
Okay. So community arts is your field then. That's kind of where you're most involved?
At MAC, yes. But essentially, I'm a writer, storyteller, and a singer.
Okay.
And I do work extensively with community engaged arts organizations. And at MAC, that is my job, yes.
So where are you from and how did you get into the arts that you're into?
I'm originally from India. I moved to Canada 15 years back. And I have a background in theater. And I trained as a storyteller and a singer. That's what I started off by doing. And then I got involved in community engaged arts through two great organizations called Jumbly Theatre and the Community Arts Guild. And I have worked extensively for them. And I think this is a nice segue into the train of thought that...
Yeah. So the train of thought, you just came off of it. Now, what is a train of thought? If I have no idea what it is, tell me about it.
Okay, so Train of Thought is a evolving community arts project that was conceived by Ruth Howard, who is the artistic director at Jumbly Theatre. So the idea of, the objective of this project is to bring the indigenous community members and the settler communities and see how we can find a common ground and involve all the arts and the cultures that is so diverse in this country. And so a bunch of artists travel wherever possible on the train, and they have tied up with Via Rail for this. And so the train left Victoria, BC, sometime in mid-May, and they've been traveling within BC, then they went up to Saskatoon, a whole lot of places, and then they came up to North Bay, and that's where I joined the train. Yes. And so on the train, there are symposiums, conferences, art making that happens. And then we get off at stations and we work with the local arts organizations or partners, host arts organizations. In some cases, there are even performances that take place.
By the time this episode airs, the train is going to be on its way to Nova Scotia. So what stops were you at and what kind of events did you participate in?
So I left Toronto and we made our way to North Bay. We were at a reserve, at the Nipissing Reserve. When our stop there coincided with the Dream Big conference that was happening there for the Aboriginal arts community and the Aboriginal community. And we got to perform there at Nipissing Capital Center out there.
So who's we?
We, as in I performed too. I mean, it's community arts where everyone is included. Yeah. And as travelers on the train, we were invited to participate. There was singing, there was dancing, there was visual arts, there was theatrical performances. And so all of us got to do a piece of performance out there. And then from there, we drove to Manitoulin Island, We spent 2 nights there at the Deboji Mujik Creation Center. We saw how they work, what the work that they create, and from there we went on to Big Mekong Unceded Indian Reserve.
Yeah.
We learned, about their culture, about their art making, and then from there we went to Blind River, and we were at the Mississauga First Nation.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk about the Bill C-50 and
Yes.
its impact on our environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so wherever we went, we had the opportunity to witness water ceremonies being taking place, and everything to honor the waters, protect the waters and the environment. And we interacted with them. We learned, we shared, our art making process and their art making process, and so it was extremely inspiring. And from there we came to Sudbury and back in Toronto, where technically I'm still on the train. There are a lot of activities happening.
Yes. Yeah, it's stopped in Toronto at the moment.
Yes, and today is a day off for all the artists, and then we go back to exploring and creating art and doing workshops.
Yeah. And when you came back to the office today, you said it was really inspiring to meet so many other different artists. So we know that you met and worked with a lot of natives and Aboriginals, but in terms of the passengers, what kind of variety of artists were there as passengers? Was it very eclectic and very different?
Absolutely. There were artists from across Canada on the train, from Prince Edward Island, Halifax. I think there probably was a representative from every province and every territory out there, and all of them multidisciplinary artists. So, and they had some great ideas. Like there was this artist who unfortunately couldn't travel. The journey comes to an end at PEI.
Yes.
So she couldn't travel all the way to PEI. I mean, she was a Vancouver-based artist. She'd created this beautiful traveling boot. And so the traveling boot is actually traveling. So she's created this mold of a boot, and which is created completely from found objects from the environment. And so wherever we go, we add to the boot. So the fringes are added. We use grass, reeds, and anything that is found to weave this boot. So the boot is actually going to be traveling on her behalf. And that's, I think, that's a great community art.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of really different ideas came together. And it's interesting that the train really is what connects the whole country from one end right to the other. So I think it'll be growing next year. You think it was quite a success this year?
Absolutely, and I think the goal for this entire project is to bring the entire nation together. Right now it is the East Coast and the West Coast that is being connected. Yeah. But the artists are from all over Canada. But hopefully the train, everyone gets to travel all over and create art together, and it'll be interesting. And in fact, the learnings from this phase of the travel will be presented at the Mac Arts Festival on September 19th.
Perfect, yeah.
And some of the travelers who have been on board will be coming, and we will be creating art with the community members from Mississauga.
Yeah, so mark that in your calendars, save the date. I haven't announced it yet on the podcast announcement, but September 19th is going to be a very big day for Mississauga, not just MAC members, but all of Mississauga. It's going to be a great festival. You'll hear more about it a little bit later on in the summer. Well, thanks so much for your time, Sharada. If people want to find out more about the Train of Thought, what should they do and where should they go?
I have a blog myself, which and you can visit the Mississauga Arts Council website, and there's a link to my blog on that. And you'll find everything that you want to. There's also a link to the Train of Thought website, which will give you the entire tour itinerary and things like that. And you can also take a look at all the artists who've been involved, and you'll find that Mississauga Arts Council is playing a huge part in that in this entire journey.
Great. So we'll direct our listeners there. And thanks for coming in. It was great talking to you.
And you. Thank you so much.
If you'd like to learn more about the Train of Thought, just go to www.trainofthought.co. Next up, we have an interview with Darren Anthony, the writer of the upcoming play Secrets of a Black Boy. I'll be talking to him about his life and how his experiences have contributed to this new production. Have a listen. Hey everybody, I am here at the Square One Central Library with Darren Anthony. He's joining me today. He's going to tell us a little bit about Secrets of a Black Boy. Thanks for coming on, Darren.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So you're a playwright, Darren, and why don't you tell us about how you got into writing and being a playwright and writing for theater?
Absolutely. I started writing probably about 10 years ago, and what sparked that was my sister, Trey Anthony. She's the creator of the play and television show, The Kink in My Hair. I saw how captivating the stories were she was writing, as well as I was really blown away by seeing people of color on stage and actually being vulnerable and talking about issues that are really affecting me. I think the medium of theater hasn't really been exposed in the urban community, and my sister was that trailblazer for me, and she really put things in perspective for me and made me see things from a different lens.
So tell us a bit about what Secrets of a Black Boy is. What's its format, what's it about, and where did the inspiration for it come from?
The play is basically about a community center that's closing down due to the city wanting to build condos. So I rip these stories from what's happening in Regent Park, the gentrification, what's happening out there. I've been a child and youth worker for over 10 years now, and I see a lot of things that are affecting the community, whether it be spousal abuse, interracial dating, police brutality, just issues that are facing our community, and I wanted to kind of like bring those stories to light. I think me being a child and youth worker and seeing things from a different lens, I see things differently, and I wanted to basically be the voice for the voiceless and share stories that are not brought to the mass media. I think when it comes to like urban stories, there is like one voice for the most part when it comes to urban stories, and I feel that with the Black community or even the urban community in general, I think that there is multiple layers to the community, and I feel like I have that voice, and I want to bring that to light essentially. And what inspired me, it was my sister. She was talking about issues that were really taboo at the time, all the issues that really just kind of like not talked about in our community. And I think also it's kind of like very therapeutic for me. I think my stories and my ability is really kind of like showing people a window into our community and making them understand that there's multiple layers to our stories.
You mentioned the urban community a lot, and Mississauga does have an urban community, but Mississauga is a very different audience than the Toronto community, and I'm wondering what kind of differences are you anticipating to have in the audience and in the reaction, or do you think it doesn't matter and that these stories will still resonate with a suburban audience member? You know, how are you going to deal with that, or do you think it doesn't matter?
That's a great question. I think theater in general is more of, it's not a urban medium. I think in the past we've had every walk of life come to the theater and come see our shows. And I have no issues with that. I think people are really interested in what's happening in the community, especially what's happening right now in society when it comes to police brutality and racism and whatnot. I think that the urban community is growing. The diversity in Peel is massive, and there's a lot of people in these communities that are not recognizing that. I think this piece will definitely resonate with a lot of people. You don't have to be, you can be Black, you can be white, you can be Asian, you can be Filipino, you can be African, you can be whatever you want. I think these stories that I'm sharing gives you a window into our community, and I feel that I'm not just writing for Black people, I'm not just writing for white people, I'm writing because I feel like I have a story that people can relate to, and it goes deep. I'm not talking about like surface issues. I'm talking about issues that are ingrained in us that people don't really talk about, taboo issues, and I think people will resonate with that for sure.
And as a youth and child worker, I'm sure you've seen the benefits of theater and community arts with the youth that you work with. So if there's a youth or a teenager listening right now, urban or otherwise, what would you say to them if they're curious about theater, either wanting to get into acting or getting into writing?
I'll be very blunt and frank with you. I think that you have to take the reins and you got to do it yourself. I didn't wait for an agent or a director or someone to tell me that I could do this. I think I was an actor before I actually started writing, and my difficulty was I was waiting for the right director or the right agent to call me and say, okay, I got a script that you can actually sink your teeth into. The people who are writing for the urban community, for the most part, they don't know my community. Mm-hmm. They don't know my voice. You know what I mean? I know my community. I've been in the community. I've been on the front lines. I know this story. So I think that the best advice I would give someone is if you're interested in it, don't just wait for someone to kind of like give you the perfect script or give you an opportunity. You got to create your own opportunity. I didn't wait for anyone. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own. I have substance. I have something to say, and my stories resonate with people. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to please anyone. I'm trying to make sure that people see themselves in my stories as well as like be authentic as possible.
So give us the final pitch. Why should we go see it? And if we want to buy tickets, how do we do that?
Okay, so the final pitch. So my play is playing at the Maja Apprentice Theater in Mississauga. A place called Secrets of a Black Boy. You can get tickets at Eventbrite. Why should you see this show? Because the play is amazing. I might be a little bit of bias, but at the same time, I feel that my work speaks for itself. The play's been in New York. It's been in North Carolina. It's going to Washington, D.C. It's been in Mississauga. And we have one more date coming up in the United States. And I'm not going to reveal that yet. But the work speaks for itself. I don't have to sit here and, like, big it up. It is what it is. Definitely come out, enjoy yourself. I guarantee you, if you're not pleased or entertained or engaged by this play, I will give you $100 out of my own pocket. And I 100%, I stand by that. 100%. Thank you.
Yeah, we've got it on tape. Thanks so much, Darren, and best of luck with the rest of your productions, and hopefully we'll see you at one of these plays in the future.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Once again, be sure to see Secrets of a Black Boy at the Maya Apprentice Theater on Dixie Road, June 23rd at 7 p.m. Tickets are $25 in advance and $30 at the door. If you liked our music feature this week, be sure to check them out. Asima Lango's most recent album, Aspire to Inspire, is available on Bandcamp for streaming and download. I'll be closing off the show with another one of his songs off of that CD. Links will be posted on the Mac website. But before I go, you know what they say. Once you go Mac, you never go back. Whether you're an artist that's emerging or established, you need to be a member with the Mississauga Arts Council. Network with other artists. Have your talent advertised. Stay up to date on the latest events and be the first in line to know about arts-related opportunities. New and archived episodes of the Mississauga Arts Council Summer Podcast will be available on our website every Wednesday at www.mississaugaartscouncil.com/podcast for streaming and direct download. Or you can subscribe through our YouTube and Mixcloud accounts. Episode 6 is scheduled to premiere Wednesday, June 24th. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, let us know. Email mac@mississaugaartscouncil.com. Phone in at 905-615-4278. Tweet us at Miss Arts Council. Find us on Facebook, or head on over to City Hall. Ask for the guy with the sultry radio voice, so I know you're looking for me. Special thanks goes to my producer and editor, Vernon Bainey, at the Haze FM Studios, and to my executive director, Anu Vital. I'll bookend the show with another rap track from Asima Lango. Have a spectacular week, and remember that Mac is the umbrella for the arts.
Grown man, I'm a grown man, living by my own plans. Check it out like this, yeah. I'm a 70s baby, life through the changes of the ages made me. Mama and pops raised me in a safe family space that gave me all the jewels of life needed to make me so blessed with a gift that's ridiculous, man. Sky's the limit like Biggie lyrics, my life never mimic no Biggie lyricals, man. No silver spoon to consume this humble pie feast, yo. It ain't a single high that I can't reach. A child of 2 African immigrants educated, which meant graduating less than college was out of the equation. My future determined at a young age. You can imagine the things that my African parents would say. Search YouTube for things African parents would say. I done heard it decades before today's YouTube phase. In retrospect, some gems was hidden in their quotes. As a child, I failed to realize the wisdom they spoke. A clash of 2 cultures seeking a balance, tumultuously a challenge, a function of trying to exceed the average. Education was the key to success. I can attest, many doors have opened up and I'm blessed. Tough love was my reality check. I cashed early in my youth, pretty worldly, and my journey is the truth. That set the tone for where I'm going, not forgetting who I am. Stepping stones on my quest to become a man. I'm a grown man, my lane carved by my own hands. Pursuer and the doer of my own plans. Took strides to achieve all that I have achieved. The seeds planted early on was belief. Then it blossomed and grew into fruit of my labor. Growth and maturity is the food of my savor. Went from birth to a child and the onward progression to adolescent. Presently, I'm a grown man. So I worked hard, believed in God, beat the odds, controller of my destiny with these hands. I deal the cards, received awards of merit on various occasions. I walked across stages to standing ovations. Diplomas and degrees don't define me, but they remind me that I can be anything my mind deems, and that's the realest quote, hands down. Feel like the man now, some life jewels I'm finna pass down. Life ain't all peaches and cream, beware of the leeches, the schemes. Surround yourself with believers that dream outside of the box. Inspiration is the flavor I've selected. Aspire to aspire, the main objective. My main investment I've selected is myself and my future. Reached a couple milestones, yearning for a few more. First it was love, then it was marriage, then came the babies in a baby carriage. One of life's magical moments that mold you. Bye-bye to the old you when heaven finally told you to grow up. Self-centered living's in my rear view. Circumstances stands that'll prepare you in a hurry to respond, to react to the flurry of changes that'll drive the feeble to worry. A test of internal fortitude and a gauge on how you're built. Grown folks can relate to these words that I spill.
Yeah, grown man, grown man, grown man, grown man, grown man, grown man.
I'm a grown man, my lane carved by my own hands. Pursuer and the doer of my own plans. Took strides to achieve all that I have achieved. The seeds planted early on was believed. Then it blossomed and grew into fruit of my labor. Growth and maturity is the food of my savor. Went from birth to a child and the onward progression to adolescent. Presently, I'm a grown man.